Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Today, I wanted to talk about spiritual principles. What are they? It's interesting because when I think of spiritual principles, it is a belief and a truth that we choose to live by, that we choose to incorporate in our daily lives within our core as human beings. And I wanted to touch base because when you are more aware of spiritual principles, it will help us be the best person we can be each and every day. The universal concepts that help us become better people, what we choose to incorporate in our lives. So I have taken 9 of the principles and I'd like to pass it forward and think about it. And when you listen to it and how we can interpret and how we can incorporate this every single day for us to be better, it's a reminder. Okay? The first one I want to talk about is tolerance and patience. This is a different time today, and there are a lot of different beliefs, and such as politics, sexual orientation. And when I listen to different, opinions of it, I'm a good listener because I always say the person who listens is in charge of the conversation. It's not the person who talks. You are like the data bringing in all this information. And it's very interesting, but it's very, very important to remind yourself each and every day that just because you think different doesn't make the person wrong. Exercise patience, acceptance, and tolerance to somebody else's views. Okay? You don't have to agree, but if you can maintain a level of human interaction and keep the communication going without the anger, it will be a lot better. So exercising tolerance and patience is a big thing that I think, and I think we all can benefit from that. The second one will be open-mindedness. You have to be open-minded to accept other people's opinions or actions, accepting there's another way to live. So you can be very tunnel vision or very adamant in how you believe, and that's okay. But I sometimes, and I challenge a lot of my clients, think outside the box. This is very, very important. Maybe in a different way you've never thought about it before. But when you can exercise a little bit of openness, sometimes it'll take you to where you are supposed to go yourself. Another way of enlightenment is what I call it. The third one is intention. Everything you do will align with the intention that you have the belief in becoming what you want to be, the belief that you want to become. I thought that was a really good way of putting it. So your intention basically are your thoughts, are your beliefs, but if you truly believe in a positive way that it will become, universe actually starts making it happen for you. You have to be open-minded, but you also have to trust and you have to believe, because when you believe it will happen, it will happen. Problem is, take away timelines, as I always say. Timelines actually pollute the thought of intent. So remember that, because this is very, very important. Your intention to where you would like to see yourself go, your family go, in a good, healthy, positive way. Keep the good thoughts. It's very, very important because good thoughts always return back to us. Okay? The next one is the spiritual principle of acceptance. To understand, we cannot control. We are not God, and you have to make peace with it. So sometimes in our lives, and I know this has happened to each and every one of us, something that has happened, we can't fathom how did it happen, how could it happen, this is a terrible thing, it's a terrible tragedy, but sometimes it's not for us to understand why it happened. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense, but we have to really say to yourself, okay, there's nothing more I could have done. Even if I could have done the situation different, what would have happened still would have happened. So don't compete with God. It's a very, very hard thing, but making your peace, knowing you've exercised everything, but the universe is bigger than all of us. So understanding and incorporating more of acceptance. Look, We're all here to be the best people we can be. But there are greater and more bigger things than us, than what we can tolerate and what we can control. And that's the reason of acceptance, not competing with God, God's will. Okay? The next one is hope and faith. Not giving up in life or in a situation that's not good. Hope that this too shall pass, and desire is more powerful. So, hope and faith, you're not choosing not to stay stuck in the current situation. As bad as it is, it will not stay that way. But if you think it will, then it will. It's just that simple. I exercise this every day in my life. Yes, sometimes bad situations occur, but I always say, this will not last forever. And I know that something bigger is coming and it will change for the better. I really believe that. It isn't just words. It's actually believing in that principle. So when you incorporate that spiritual principle of hope and faith, that this too shall pass, it will. Remember that. Remind yourself of that every day. How it is now is not what will become. The next one is honesty. Boy, I love that one. Being honest with yourself. Okay, seeing people for their truth. Seeing situations for their truth. When you can stop wishing and hoping how somebody would become and see them for who they are, you just saved yourself a ton of grief, a ton of anxiety. And when you can just see it for what it really is, you just literally took 1,000 pounds off your shoulder that you're trying to carry for each and every one, including yourself. So seeing the honesty and the purity, when you see somebody and you, as much as you love that person, but that person just doesn't resonate to what you're trying to tell them, maybe this is all they're ever going to be. Maybe you need to be honest in facing that fact. Okay? Because it's going to get you farther. A lot of times I have friends who have terrible mates and they're divorced and they're going back and forth, going to court, trying to get them to see something, trying to do the right thing, that they owe them this money and they won't. I kind of look at it as, hey, you know what? This person's never going to be a good person. This person's never going to do the right thing. So how are you going to achieve maybe going on without that person? Not having that person's energy taint yours. So it's really important. The next one is humility. I often love this because I always say, you know, not thinking you're better than anybody else, and nobody is better than you. This is a saying I live by with myself. I taught my daughter this, and it is something that we can always improve. You are never too big for your britches. I don't care how famous one becomes. I have a lot of famous clients that see me. You need to be humble. You need to be grateful. And you need not to ever take anything for granted. Very hard lesson, because sometimes people can get caught in the moments of fame. And I always say, remember your roots. Remember where you came from. But remember the person that you really are meant to be. Don't get tainted by superficial, by materialism. It's nice to have nice things, but it's never good to compete. When I see somebody doing something really nice for themselves or their house, I'm happy for them, but it doesn't mean I want what they have. I'm okay with myself. I'm okay with what is around me. I like my surroundings because I chose my surroundings that fit me as a person. And this is how I get through life, by not being jealous. Jealousy is not a good energy to collect and to attract. So remember that. I do. Gratitude. Many times when we pray, we should start with being grateful to what we have and for all the spiritual help from above that I often preach and practice. We need to be grateful to even the little things. You know, what a child says and makes you laugh, what our beautiful pets bring us. Simplicity. Being grateful for getting up in the morning. Being grateful that we can walk, or we can talk, or we can digest food. You know, there's so many people can't do that. Being grateful that maybe we need more money, but we're able and we're healthy and we can go and we can do it. How about being grateful for creativity, for having a mind? Be grateful for love. Be grateful for a good friend that cares about you. So many times I never hear that enough from people. How about just saying, it's a good day. I woke up. Hey, the sun's shining. Hey, it didn't rain today. Those are the little things. Be happy. Be grateful. Because if you're not gratitude and you don't have it, it's not a good thing. You don't want to be a taker. You want mutual balance, but you always say thank you for everything that good comes your way. Grateful for the sunset, grateful for the full moon and new intentions and being able to start something over again. Those are things to be grateful for. Being grateful for God. It's important each and every day. So I always say, if you believe and you stay positive, good things will come your way. Optimism. This is the last one that I wanted to bring up. Okay, the spiritual principle of optimism, seeing the positive in everything. There's a yin, there's a yang, okay? Everything that you look at, think about, well, it could have been this way. Hey, we were lucky it didn't happen this way. I need you to be more aware of how much worse it could have gotten. And you have to look at it this way. So when I say yin and yang, everything has to flow. And this is very, very important. So when you can look at the positive in everything, more positive does come your way. Look, we're human. We grieve, bad things happen. We are, like in a coma sometimes about it. We're like frozen in time because we're thinking about this and we just are so distraught. But you also have to think about the good things that you still have. When you lose a loved one, maybe you have children, maybe you have another family that's around you. Focus on the people that still are here and they love you. Focus on that. If you have addiction problems, and it's hard every single day, my heart does go out to all of you for that. But then think about the people that are there for you, that want only good for you, that are willing to talk to you every day, even if it's a sponsor. Think about those. So the 9 principles that I just spoke to you about, think about how you are going to incorporate that within you and in your life. Because once you start, it's intertwined and more good things are going to happen because of it. When you shift your thoughts, when you incorporate more of the good in your core, you are going to be so incredibly surprised of how much different everything becomes and how everything shifts for the better. Okay? So I hope this has enlightened you. I truly do. And think about what you're going to really focus on today. What are one of the things, or maybe all of the things, that you're going to try to incorporate? Okay? Until next time, have a very good, blessed week. All my love. Take care.